Hey guys, today we're making Arroz de Marisco. I wish you guys could smell it. The bomba rice is anyway ready to soak all that flavor, all that moisture, and the final result is just spectacular. The joy of getting one of these shells and get an explosion on your mouth. And even this is like the perfect spoon for this Arroz de Marisco, right? Really one of the best ways to enjoy this style of Spanish rice. All right, guys, let's go with the ingredients, okay? Let's start with the ingredients of the sofrito. And today we have a special guest here in the sofrito. It's the onion, okay? I would normally not add onion in my paella if I want the result to be a dry rice. With that I mean this traditional paella from Valencia, you know, with rabbit and chicken and so on. For those cases, onion would make the rice a little bit too soggy, and we don't want that. But in this case, with seafood paella, the addition of these seafood ingredients is gonna make the final result already pretty different. It's not going to be a dry rice anymore. It's going to have a little bit more moisture, and for this case I actually like to add a little bit of onion, okay? In this case red onion because it's the one I found, but any onion would be fine. We're also going to add some garlic at the same time, that's why I have it in the same bowl, and the same amount of green bell pepper and red bell pepper, okay? Fresh tomato already shredded, okay, around 250 grams, and as usual some extra virgin olive oil of a good quality. In this case you already know my option, Juanito Ortiz from Córdoba. Gotta be honest, this is one of the best extra virgin olive oils that I've ever tried, and that's why I keep it in my kitchen. And of course, well, some salt. I have some pasta de pimiento choricero. We already talked about this in the previous video, but it's basically a sweet bell pepper paste. Not any bell pepper, it's pimiento choricero, those pimientos that we traditionally use for making chorizo. That's why we call it pimiento choricero, right? This has a really special flavor and it's really nice for paellas, especially for this style of seafood paella. Almost forgot about the, of course, saffron, okay? It's always gives a really nice color and a really nice aroma to the whole paella. The rice that we're using today is bomba rice, an option that I love for seafood paella because it's really resistant. It's capable of absorbing so much flavor and also so much humidity, because as I said, when adding these seafood ingredients we're also adding some extra moisture, and we want a variety of rice that holds this properly, okay? And then the proteins, toppings, or everything together. Mussels, a little bit of berberechos. I don't even know what's the name of this in English. I got berberechos because they are really common and easy to find here in Galicia, where I find myself. If not, any other sort of clam would perfectly also work, okay? And also I have here some shrimps, some cigalas. I also don't know what's the name of this kind of shrimp in English, but well, in Spanish it's called cigala. And I also have a little bit of cuttlefish, okay? Squid would also work, but basically, as I always say, these kind of recipes are to use whatever you find around, to keep in mind seasonality, to keep in mind where are you and where you can find from the area, and that's all. Let's go with the recipe. As usual, first thing is to put some oil in our paella and balance it. Make sure that it's even so we can cook all the rest of the recipe with no problems. What are you trying to say? Yes, I am gonna add some onion in my paella, okay?
And garlic also.
And garlic also, yeah. Also garlic is polemic. We're gonna have a little bit of a problem here with the wind. While this warms up, let me explain. If I were speaking in Spanish, probably I would not even call this video seafood paella, because in Spanish it's a little bit more complicated. Whatever is not the Valencian one with chicken, rabbit and so on, we directly call it arroz, okay? This is un arroz de marisco, seafood rice we call it. Arroz de whatever. This way you don't piss off the Valencians, which, you know, you gotta respect sometimes because they were indeed the creators of this style of recipes, right? Or, I don't know, international audience is just easier to say paella because you already picture this kind of style of rices as paella, okay? But anyway, the good way to say would be arroz de. Said that, in my Arroz de Marisco, I do whatever I want and I don't have to follow any certain specific traditional recipe to not offend. I like to add onion in this case, and actually with garlic also. Sometimes even in the traditional one, garlic is actually something that I don't see why not using it, you know? This is not hot, this is not heating up. No, but it's the wind. New setup. I almost forgot to put salt all over the edges of the paella, just in case it does something. I don't really think so, but whatever. We're gonna give a quick Thai massage to the cigalas. Wepa, wepa, wepa. I only got 4 because I'm a cheap bastard. We are aromatizing the oil. That's going to be the soul later of our sofrito. But it has to be fast, okay? We don't want to cook the seafood now, otherwise it's going to get dry later. I think it was even not 3 minutes, but this is already enough in my opinion. Okay, quick searing. All the aroma gets into the oil. The difference between one of these seared on the grill or on a plancha to one of these just simmered in salted water, it's crazy. It looks actually like a different animal. And in this case, in this kind of paella, we want the plancha vibe there. So, as you can see, okay, we have there already this oil that is extremely aromatized. Now is the time for the cuttlefish. It's gonna release a lot of water at the beginning, so I'm gonna decide while doing, at some point it may happen that too much water is gonna start simmering it instead of getting those Maillard reactions that we're looking for. So in case that happens, I will probably light up the second ring and we're gonna try to evaporate all that water. Long story short, we want caramelizations, you already know this. I love Maillard reactions. Should I get a tattoo? Let's actually light up the other one so we can make sure we get all that excess of water. It's again getting attached. That means all the water is gone. And that's actually what we're looking for in this case. Now I'm gonna light off the outside ring again. By the way, I forgot to mention in the ingredients at the beginning, the broth, of course. For Valencian traditional paella, you're not supposed to use broth, but in seafood, I guarantee you, in my opinion, it's essential. You need a broth. So this is already caramelized and nice. Now we're gonna take it out. Time for the sofrito, my favorite moment. We're gonna start with the onion and the garlic. This instantly gets a super nice smell from all that seafood that left the essence. We're gonna give it a couple of minutes and then we instantly put the paprika. A little bit of salt to help that paprika release all the goodness, and this is already asking for a little bit more of fat. Okay, we don't want to poach. We don't want to just like, ¿cómo dices esto en inglés? It just needs a little bit more oil. This is what I meant, because I don't want to poach the vegetables. That would be boring for my paella. I want to fry them a little bit. Now, a pretty common mistake, I would say, when like not experienced people are cooking this style of paella is not cook the sofrito enough. In this case, I decided to use paprika, red and green paprika. Some people are gonna criticize that, for sure. If you decide to do so, just like me, make sure before adding the tomato that your paprikas and onion are super poached, super caramelized. If you leave them raw or not concentrated enough, it's probably one of the main difference between a proper paella in this case and one that is not so good. After around, I don't know, 20 minutes, looks already nice and fried, right? Before the moisture of the tomato, we want to add a little bit of smoked paprika. Forgot to mention this in the ingredients, but guys, this is cooking from Spain. Every single time I cook, I have a little bit of smoked paprika and I'm always ready to just pull it out a little bit, okay? Something like half a tablespoon, and this before the moisture of the tomato because we want to slightly toast it, but not so much. We gotta be really fast and really careful because it burns super fast. Before the tomato even, choricero paste. 1, 2, and 3. That already brings a little bit of humidity, so our paprika is already safe. Now I like already to include my cuttlefish into the sofrito. Cuttlefish also demands a long time of cooking, so it's actually perfect to include now on this slow cooking of our sofrito. If I had now a little bit, if I were just chilling with my family and drinking a little bit of white wine, I may add a little bit. In this case I don't have it, no problem, but a little bit, something like half a cup of white wine now before the tomato will also be a nice idea. The tomato in. This is the beginning of what's gonna be our sofrito. As I already said in a couple of videos, it's the soul of these recipes, okay? You gotta have a strong, a concentrated sofrito, full of color, full of flavor, and I'm gonna lower the heat, okay? Because with the sofrito, we should not be in a hurry, okay? If you're making paella for your family, remember this. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how fast you think you are, make it 2 hours in advance. 2 hours before you want to eat, you're gonna start this already with the ingredients cut and everything, okay? Because otherwise you're gonna have everybody waiting in the table, and I guarantee you that's stressful as hell. And it's better to stop while everything's ready and wait for everyone to sit, and then from the moment you add the broth, you calculate like around 15-20 minutes, than having now already everybody in the table and I being like, hey guys, but you know the sofrito, Cooking from Spain said that the sofrito is supposed to think in advance. While the sofrito is slowly cooking, let's do the saffron, okay? We're gonna use something like this, okay? I think that's a reasonable amount. We're gonna make an envelope like this, and we're gonna toast it directly into the flame. Wait, let's see if this is not burning. This is indeed not burning, but almost ready. Evaporated most of the humidity, and this is now like a super concentrated paste. Look at the color of the oil itself. You can see it in my spatula. I put it directly into the frame for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you kind of smell it maybe a little bit more, but this like literally burns in seconds. in milliseconds. Let's see. A little bit more though.
Yeah, the last time you said a little bit more burnt.
But you really see the difference, like when you smell it, you know. Yeah, it's perfect. So now we get this and we put all our saffron into the mortar. Now with this, and now we just put a little bit of cold water and our infusion of saffron is ready. Okay, now, when it looks like this, it means it's in the right moment. So, without Nina seeing me, I'm gonna put a little bit more oil because now is the moment of the rice. There's actually two ways of making this style of rice, and the traditional Valencian style is to first put the water in, and then after the water, put the rice already directly into a watery matrix inside here, right? But in this case, what we're gonna do is different. We're gonna put now first the rice on a medium-high heat. I'm gonna try to slightly stir fry the rice with the sofrito. In Spanish, it's called nacarar. We're gonna now move it so every single grain gets its part of that beautiful sofrito. Now there is no water, I can touch it as much as I want, and actually I have to because I'm looking for this slightly toasting of every grain, and for that I'm gonna have to touch it. That rule of never touching the paella is actually whenever the water and the rice, both things are in. And not even at the very beginning, like when you put the water in, you still have 5 minutes to move it a little bit, to spread the rice all over the paella. Do you hear it? That sound is the rice indeed stir frying a little bit. The broth, okay, already like boiling hot. And I'm gonna, as usual, give it a try. It's pretty decent, but as I always say, we want it a little bit over salted, a little bit more. Okay, now both are on, both are high heat, and the rule with rices, more or less, is always the same. 5 minutes, high heat, then another 5 minutes, or 6 or 7 at low heat, and then the next 5, 6, 7, depending on the variety of the rice, depends also on the amount of humidity that we got back there. I'm gonna drop all the broth. Okay guys, now, riot. I don't finish this video, we cancel everything because I have heard that you are not subscribed to this channel. I cannot understand why. It's free and you would help us a lot. So please, if you haven't yet, hit the subscription button and you will help us a lot. Still haven't subscribed? Nah, we will cancel. Nina, close it. Now we're also gonna put our saffron infusion in. We're gonna distribute all the grains a little bit all over the paella. 1 part of rice, 3 parts of broth, and I'm still gonna add some more moisture because I'm gonna add the mussels, and I'm gonna wait until they open, only until they open, because they are also full with water inside. So I want to have them open already. We're gonna wait those first 5 minutes. Okay, and as soon as they open, we take them out. This way then we can plate them a little bit more beautiful later. So we just want them to be open enough. All this water is flavor, and we got that paella. Already dropped these berberechos, and the berberechos are also full with liquid. Okay, let's try to do it good. And this is now the last 10 minutes, more or less, 10 to 5, that we're putting back all the toppings to finish them. Now it has been around 13 minutes, more or less, and I see that the water is almost gone. There's this part of the paella still sizzling quite a lot. The thing is that I'm gonna give it another timer of 5 minutes at low heat, because this water is almost gone. Even though, also, gotta say, look how the berberechos, for example, they still have all this amount of water to release. That's why I'm not gonna panic. The water is gonna be, the humidity is enough. I'm just gonna keep it as low as possible and wait for the right time of cooking that the variety of the rice demands. Around 17 minutes already complete. Now it's the moment for maximum heat, so we finish evaporating all the rest of the humidity that it still has. So we hear the singing of the paella, as you can hear now. Ready to identify those caramelizations, but be careful not to burn it. It would be a mess if you burn it now. This is it. This is not ready yet. The chilling time is super important because it's now when all the humidity that is left there finish cooking the whole thing. Those grains that were a little bit more up and didn't have the time enough to soak and to get a little bit bigger, it's now when they get bigger. If you don't let it chill and you directly put this in the table, you're gonna feel how those grains at the top of the paella are not so cooked as the ones underneath. That's also why it's important to always keep it not so fat, the layer of rice. And that's all, ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. Oh, it smells extremely amazing. I wish you guys could smell it. The bees also smelling it. It's good, I told you. Anyway, let's give it a try. First of all, what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. This rice has a little bit more moisture than a normal Valencian style rice. The bomba rice is anyway ready to soak all that flavor, all that moisture, and the final result is just spectacular. The cuttlefish is right in the exact point as we wanted it, and well, the joy of getting one of these shells and get an explosion on your mouth. One of the best ways to enjoy this style of Spanish rice. Well, of course, I also cannot wait for getting what's one of the best parts of this pie. You see, it's still super juicy. Look, there we go. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you liked the video. Let me know if you have any doubt in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. And if not, see you in the next one. Ciao.